So in this video, we have a client interview with Kiran. He's a tennis coach out in Danbury, Connecticut. He joined the program a little while back, and in the last 2.5 weeks, he was able to sign 14 new clients. So without further ado, Kiran, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, so I'm a high performance tennis coach. I've been working in New York and Connecticut for about 10 years. And as Mo will tell you, my life has been very hectic for the last 3, 4 months. And it's kind of shown me how much this system really works because I really was not on top of things. And really, without it, I would be kind of in a tough place financially. So I was supposed to move and get a new coaching job very far away, and kind of all my clients who I've been working with for years were going to stop working with me. And then that didn't work out. And fortunately, I had Mo helping me with this ad system at just the right time. So using the system, you don't always know every single day that people are going to come in. But for example, last night I woke up to four more leads and it's on me to convert them, but I'm a pretty darn good coach, so I can. And I guess the big difference maker would be without this, I would not be able to have new players come in at will. So in a situation like mine where I didn't necessarily lose my job, but there's no income coming in and I'm in a tough spot, this really came through with giving me options of players to work with. Maybe they're not all professional players like I'm used to, but they're paying the same price point. And if you were good enough to make your case and close, it's a pretty darn good system. And
Yeah.
really, as a tennis coach, I'm not sure if it works the same for you as a soccer coach or for a boxing coach or anybody else, but we're all working in the same system that's very monopolized. The clubs are the only ones who have control. They're charging very high price points from $100 to $300 an hour, and they're the ones who are paying for advertising and getting it done. And this kind of just cut out the middleman. It
Yep.
took instead of advertising the club, it advertises me, the best player at the club, and then it brings the people straight to me, and I can cut down their price point. People who really respect that, it counts for a lot. If they know my price is $200 an hour and I'm only charging 120, it counts for a lot. Maybe if it's a first time client, it doesn't count for as much. But for the people who I want to work with, it gets my name out there as somebody who's really good at a better price point, and I'm not paying out 2/3 of it to a club. So it really does its job.
Yeah.
I could do a better job to run it, but the ads are doing their
Mhm.
job.
Yeah. I think you spent like $300 and your cost per lead was like $6 or something. And I
Okay.
guess like having never run the actual ads in the past, what would you tell someone who's like completely brand new to the whole social media world and they're completely brand new to like running ads? They're like they've tried some ads, it didn't work, or they're like completely scared to like invest it. What would you tell that person, I guess?
Okay, I had tried ads, and obviously I'm a good player. I play very aesthetic. It's good for an ad, but my ads had never worked by myself. One thing I would say you definitely bring to the table is your expertise and knowledge in how an ad works. So by saying the right things and targeting the right people, true leads come through. Whereas I may have created good content and tried to target the right people, but by not knowing the right filters, I might have spent 25 bucks and gotten zero back. Whereas this is every single day, it's a churn. People are coming through, and it's my job to call them and get them on the court. But I'm a good pro, and if they play with somebody else, I would much rather try me than that other guy. So
Yeah.
it's a bit of a comparison game is really good, and you kind of like give us the option to fight in that market. Whereas
Hmm.
without you, like there's nothing they can't compare me to their club or their pro. But
Right.
at least with you now, my foot's in the door and I can do a good job.
Right. What would you tell someone who's like stuck using like the old school way of doing things, like the flyers, the word of mouth, the reaching out to friends and family, just like cold calling people? What would you tell
I
that
mean, I was
person?
doing all of that right before I met you. And also I worked in New York State, like New York City real estate. So I am familiar with trying to get referrals, trying to get clients, like closing high ticket prices.
Yeah.
I would say the difference is I mean, I could show you the flyer on my desk. I was putting that in mailboxes of rich people who had courts doors. I do get a lot of referrals. I guess the difference would be nobody clicks that ad unless they're truly serious. Like if they're getting in touch with you, then they want a service. If your price holds them out, then that is what it is. But they saw me play, they saw the people I'm
Hmm.
coaching. they want this thing, they're trying to spend their money on it. So it's a bit more of a pipeline coming towards you day after day than hoping. It's less hoping and a bit more math.
Yeah, 100%. I guess like when you were first on that first call with me, like why did you trust us to honestly help you with this? Because like most people are skeptical, and most like I think you were also kind of hesitant in the beginning. I guess what really made you like finally want to jump in and just rock and roll with us?
Definitely the math. I mean, I know as a sports guy, we're not all the same as academic people, from spreadsheets to calling to following up. But
Yeah.
I know we are all like very intense people who have to beat other people. And
Hmm.
so when you laid it out for me with the numbers, you said, if you invest 15 and six is how much it takes for me to acquire a client, I can, what's six divided by 120? So I have 20 tries before I spent as much as I'm going to get back in one lesson. So you kind of like made the math so obvious for me in so many ways that it's almost undeniable. Like I'd have to be really bad at making a sale for it to
Right.
not work. Like if you're just okay, it's going to work.
Right. And you charge a really high price point too. Like I remember on that first, I think you said you were charging 125 for your
Yeah,
sessions.
I charge a very high price point.
How was it like converting like completely not cold leads? Like we warmed them up, of course, with like the Instagram page and the whole ad itself. But like what was that feeling like knowing like some of your clients wouldn't convert because they didn't come from referrals?
Yeah, that's I think you talk about the heart of it right there. Why should somebody pay my high price point if they do not see me working with a pro player, if a pro player has not recommended them to me, if you were not on the court next to me and you watched me work somebody for an hour and get results, why would you pay that price point when you can pay 40 bucks or 60 bucks
Yeah.
to some random D3 college player and you don't really know the difference?
Hmm.
I would say that's the biggest part in my business because I charge so much. I really like do need the referral, and I guess a big part of that was that the ad connected me with so many people who had already played with people I'd played with like 5 years ago who I did not remember, who remembered me.
Hmm.
One lady who has three kids who wanted me like three times a week for like a year was
Yeah.
able to find me who didn't have my number, and she's obviously going to pay a lot of money throughout a year towards me. Um, Remind me of the question. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. I'm saying like having such a high price point and them not really knowing who you are like on the feet on the courts, like how was that disconnect between those two and kind of like what do you think like was the biggest turning point? Because like these people are paying you before they come to the first session. Like this is not like you inviting them to a free trial. This is them like paying somebody over the phone. Have they've never met this person. I guess for you, like how did that work for you? Like disconnect between those 2 points.
It's definitely still the biggest disconnect because I would be the same. If I had to pay that big of a price point, I would be the same. I think the difference is honestly with the ad.
Hmm.
I do have a lot of content of me playing, but that ad just shows me playing kind of smoothly.
Yep.
You can see I'm more proficient than 99% of the people on the planet.
Right. Exactly.
So the ad quality was big. I mean, I
Hmm.
use social media and stuff, so I can make good content. My profile already looks nice, but
Hmm.
you guys, I don't want to see it did a better job, but yeah, you did a better job of targeting who you want to target. Like maybe my
Right.
stuff looks good for somebody who's been playing tennis for 300 years, but your stuff looks good for somebody who's scrolling and wants to make a purchase. So the
Right. Exactly.
targeting was better.
And how
Uh,
do you think like, having that ad separated you from like the other tennis coaches in like Danbury, Connecticut, for example?
Yeah, I would say it did because even if you were to show up and play with me, you're not going to see what you saw in the ad
Right.
because the ad is a high tier of tennis that other pros cannot do. They certainly cannot teach you how to do it, and I will not be doing it with you until I teach you how to do it over the course of years. So it showcased something that other pros are just not able to showcase. They will
Right.
not be able to do that because they cannot do that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's definitely visible for people. Like if
Hmm.
you have a pro, it's definitely a big comparison game. If you are playing with somebody and then you see my ad and mine costs less than whoever you're playing with, then it's really a no-brainer for you. And
Right.
I've seen that a few times. Even I work with one guy who he runs a Michelin starred restaurant. I know he plays tennis probably still 3 days a week with other pros. He plays once a week with me. And I'm pretty sure he does not want to play with them anymore. I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure he's just going to bring all his business to me because why would you keep paying the same when there's a better option?
Right.
So yeah, opportunity to put your foot in a market where he has to go to a club and find these people.
Hmm.
Now he has a better option at the same price point.
Yeah.
So it's the ability for us to get into markets where actually we would not. I think even maybe your guy Eamon could say the same. Like he's functioning by himself as a tennis pro in Brooklyn. This is like an impossible thing to do. This must be off the ads.
Right.
This is really truly an impossible thing to do that he's doing.
100%. Because then with this ad, you get in front of the right people and you cut the middleman out. You're not working for a club anymore. You have like all that traffic coming to you, and then you can keep 100% of what you make. So I guess for you, like if you were to speak into the version of you before you joined the program and you were like kind of hesitant, kind of like not sure what to do, like what would you tell someone who's in that situation where they're like really just stuck in their old school way of doing things? Like maybe they're making 5, 10K a month already. Like they just got to a point where they're like, comfortable, or they're just kind of starting out with the tennis business or their soccer business or any sport business, if you think about it. What would you tell that person having never done the ads?
I would say be okay with learning new systems. I mean, just like you learned soccer, tennis, like this is a new system. Like Mo's gonna outfit you with a bunch of like pre-recorded things to say, and you might think, like I've been dealing with people for a lot of years, but do the system. Like he might tell you record a bunch of content in a certain way, and you think it needs to do this, but just do the system. Like really buy into learning something new, and then if you want to put your spin on it after a year, like sure, maybe, but like really buy into something that maybe you don't understand that well. And there's like examples of stuff even that I could be doing better by buying in right now, like doing the KPI tracker.
Yes.
So, an example of somebody who is not working with you yet would be now you're running my ads. If I was doing a better job buying into the system and tracking the ads, probably the ads would be running even better and I'd be making more money. So
Right.
it's like maybe even leave your schedule open. It's like I'm still dealing with all my old players, but some of them only pay me $60 an hour, and I could be dealing with new players at 120. Um, Come ready with systems so that like if it's going well, you're actually prepared to service people. Like don't get caught not servicing people because you're not free.
Yeah.
So be prepared for it to work, buy into the system, and then be prepared to like learn and keep learning because you're going to be like a bad new player at first, and you're going to have
Yeah.
to get a little better.
You nailed it on the head. I guess for I guess the importance of being a good coach doesn't like, I guess having seen what the ads can do for you, how important do you think is it to be a good coach for the retention side of things?
I don't know. Retention is my definitely my highest skill for sure. So I guess that's not a problem for me. This
Hmm.
almost is like ringing bells for me because I was like, oh, put a guy on the court, he's coming back every time. I think so far for retention, yeah, every person I've played with off the ads, I get return from unless they go away or it's raining.
Right. And then
Yeah.
for
So for retention, that comes down to you. I mean, what's I guess how important is retention? That's important at a club or anywhere, right? Like
mhm.
I try to okay, like that's a big difference. I tell clubs like if you were doing a better job on retention, you'd be making way more money, but they're like a revolving door. Just keep getting more people, they don't have to worry about retention. I suppose yeah, I don't know how other people do on retention. I don't know how to answer that, I guess.
Yeah. I guess like when you're such a good coach, you don't really think about it because like people just once they come in, they never leave. It seems like that's the case for you. It's always been the case for you. And now that you have these, 14 new clients, I guess what's your next thing? Like what's the next game plan for you in the future?
Well, I have always wanted my tennis and real estate business to run hand in hand. Like I told
Hmm.
you, I started learning that. I was running a massive academy in the city when COVID hit, kind of destroyed my whole thing. I got into real estate because I felt tennis wasn't safe enough. And then so I did that for 4 years in the city. And then I love tennis. So I really, my goal is to make them run hand in hand. If I can make the 20 to 40K a year to keep buying one bedroom apartments in New York City, I can like recycle that system and kind of enjoy my life more, take more tennis players, make it through the winter. I want to use my tennis income to buy more real estate and then use my real estate income to do more tennis. So I really do want them to go hand in hand, like the real estate to create the passive income so that I can really focus on making great tennis players.
Yeah.
And my goal would be to take players like the Grand Slams and do that. So My
Dude,
goal
that's
is to
awesome.
use this to make my life a little bit easier to then come back to tennis even more.
Yeah, dude, that's so awesome that you're not just like leading as a, I guess like a business owner, but also like within the actual courts, you're actually helping other players get to another level that most coaches can't do. So it's really cool to see that you're like, the coach next door who's like the average coach who's just there for a session. They come in, they come out, and then nothing really happens. I guess for you, how important is client results and like seeing your clients like super happy?
Yeah, well, I'm sure you can relate to this as a guy from Brooklyn. Like I told you before we met, in January, I started my sports agency business. I was working for a company called Top Five Sports Management for the last 2 years, traveling around the world, going to Grand Slams, working with some of the best players in the world, and getting really good results. But I was not able to move up in that company. So I
Hmm,
started my own company in January. And now, after about 9 months of doing it, I think I've truly figured out that my job is to save people money.
right.
If you're in New York City and you're trying to be a D3 tennis player or D1 tennis player, first off, you're going to pay the 40 grand a year and probably not make it because there's going to be 30 kids in your group with you also paying that 40 grand. You're not all going to make it.
Yeah.
So my job is really to save people money by telling the truth.
Hmm.
And this is, yeah, I mean, this is kind of what separates you from the coach next door. Is kind of like, why would he tell you the truth when he can just hit you the ball and you have a good time? Like, my job is frustrating. I tell people the things we have to work on the thing that bothers you the most because that's
Yeah.
going to be what gets you the best. So,
100%.
yeah, effort
Dude.
level is a big part of it. Honesty is a big part of it, but
Hmm.
yeah, that's what being a real coach is about, right? You
Yeah.
know, you
100%.
don't want yes men around you. That's not good.
Right, exactly. And that's why you're here as a coach to actually tell them, like, hey, you actually suck at the skill. You got to fix it. Otherwise, you'll continue sucking at the skill. So,
Yeah, that's one thing I appreciate about you. I feel like you kind of stay on me about it. You're like, "This is not good. This is not good." Like, man, if you really get that mad, you like send me a sassy meme. You're like, "You gotta hurry up!" Like, and it's important. It's important because
yeah,
we all have jobs. Like, we're making a living, we're paying rent. Like, and it's important that you like stay honest because it actually helps us grow. Also,
dude, 100%. And I like the fact that you were a straight shooter too from the get-go. I'm like, listen, dude, like we're gonna help you get there. However, we also need you to like focus as another student would do. Like even you coaching tennis players, like we're coaching you, like even coaches need coaches. So it's like do the work, you're gonna get the result. Just be patient and then actually show up. Like don't actually, ghost us. So every now and then I send you those sassy memes because I want to make sure that you're on top of your stuff, which is why you signed 14 clients in like a couple of weeks, which is really awesome. And then that's just like the beginning. And plus with the weather and like the season changing, next year can be really cool because like once you have the system like really dialed in and you're in a better city when you move, you're basically going to be rocking and rolling left and right.
yeah, and especially just like being a bit annoyed at myself that I didn't dive even harder into your systems and like really pay attention. And even like I
Hmm.
built like a follow up manager to track and keep following up. I think like when it gets warm again, I'm gonna try to really maybe not even take a lot of my older clients or try to
Hmm.
do my older clients in this new system. So it's a bit more,
Yeah,
I'll
100%.
dive a little bit deeper into this.
Yeah, totally, man. One final thing before we jump off. I guess for someone who's like a sports coach watching this and they're like really stuck in their old way of doing things and like they want to, hit that 5, 10, 15, 20K a month, what would you tell them having never actually been on the other side?
Hmm. You would think maybe it wouldn't be that different than what I've been doing for 10 years, but I get this gut feeling that I can use this to really achieve financial freedom while doing what I love. And probably couldn't do that by myself.
Dude, I love the way you broke that down. That's awesome. Once again, I appreciate you for being here. And for any sports coaches out there who want to grow and scale their private training business, hit that first link in the description below to book a call with us to see how we can help you do the same. And Karen, once again, thank you for being here. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate everything.